guys, in today's video I'll be showing you what camera gear do you need to make content on YouTube or generally any type of content, photography, video. And this video is for beginners and the people who are just starting out and who want to create a YouTube channel and make content online. So let's get started. Right now I'm recording this video on a mirrorless camera A6000. And you might be thinking, Harris, is this not hypocrisy? Like, you're telling us not to buy a super expensive camera to make content, but you're using it right now to record this video. But let me just tell you one thing, that content is always going to win, no matter how good your quality of the video is, how good the visuals are, if you have a drone footage. But it's all about the content, what you're giving to your audience to watch. So in terms of content is always going to win over quality. So if you have a good content, people are always going to come back to your channel and they're going to be waiting for you to post another video for you to watch. Even though the quality of the video won't be that great, they are coming for the content of the video, what value you are providing to your audience. So when I started my YouTube channel, I started with this phone and it's great. I mean, I've been using this for a long time. I still use it here and there. So this is iPhone XR. I had this phone and with a Gorilla Pod. Let me show you a Gorilla Pod that I used. So this is the Gorilla Pod that I used for making my videos on this channel. First 5-6 videos were from this phone and I used this Gorilla Pod. I mean, it's quite dirty, it's quite flimsy now. As you guys can tell, it's quite dirty, to be fair. I've used that a lot, and I like first 7-8 months I've used that and it was only like £6-7 off eBay, and it's great. I still use it here and there when I'm using my phone. It had a little clip that goes onto the phone and then my phone can clip on that, and I just upgraded it to new Gorilla Pod that I'll be showing you in a bit. So that's what I really use. So I would say the best camera that you have right now is in your pocket. Take it out, start making content, and as you progress, you start making more content. You realize, okay, now I need to upgrade to make certain type of content that you really want. For example, if you want to get a really certain type of look, then you obviously start upgrading your camera gear. But if you are starting out, this is the best thing that you have in your pockets. I still use this phone in my vlogs, especially the 2020 vlog that I posted, I think 2 videos back. I used this phone to get a second perspective, and yeah, I still use it and I'll still be using it in my vlogs, because I tell you what, the phones are great right now in the market. Nowadays they can record your videos in 4K and 60 frames per second. So it's basically everything that you need is in your pockets. Start making slow-mo. If you want a slow-mo, that will do it. All the slow-mo that I used to do on my YouTube channel in first 5-6 vlogs, I used this phone. Just change the settings to 60 frames per second and 4K and use this. So after making a couple of videos on my phone, I felt a need to upgrade the quality of my content. And obviously my passion was about photography and more than just making videos. So I invested in this camera that I'm recording with right now. As you guys can see, this is a Sony A6000 Alpha Series and it's a beginner's camera. It's on a Adobe Gorilla Pod, and this is the setup that I'm using right now to record this video. So I'll recommend this camera to anyone who's just starting out and who wants to learn photography and videography. Just use this camera, and it's quite cheap. I bought this on eBay for about £350, I believe, or £400 at that time. I'm not quite entirely sure, but you will be able to find secondhand on eBay easily from 300 to 400 with kit lens. So it came up with the kit lens. It was 16 to 55mm lens. So as I said before, it's a beginner's camera, so it does have some setbacks which I'm going to talk about right now. The first one is, as you guys can see right now, it doesn't have a flip out screen, so I can't see myself, I can't see what's in the frame and what's not. So even if it's in focus, so I don't know if the phone is in focus right now or my face, so I can't really tell. So that's a really big setback for this camera. It doesn't have an audio connection, so I cannot connect a Rode Video Micro on this camera. I think I can only mount Sony mic from Sony, so which is quite expensive, but I wanted to go with a Rode Video Micro that a lot of YouTubers use, which is quite cheap. It's 40-50 pounds, but I cannot use that because it doesn't have a jack, so bear that in mind. I actually ordered that from Amazon, and then I realized after that it doesn't have a jack for audio. So right now I'm using my camera mic, which is not good at all. There are some ways that you can improve your audio by recording your audio separately and then you have to sync it in post, but that's a big deal. But let's see in future what I do in terms of audio, but that's a big setback. Also doesn't have an image stabilization inbuilt in the camera. So I mean, it's not a big issue, but it can be an issue if you are vlogging if you have a shaky hands, and if you're vlogging, I mean, that can be an issue, but it's not a big deal. But overall, it's a great beginner's camera. And I mean, if you're just starting out and if you want to learn photography and videography, if you want to learn about aperture, f-stop, and ISO, so if you don't know anything about that, if you want to learn, this is a great camera. So in terms of tripod, this bad boy from Silk is called Silk Able 300DX, and I mean, you won't be able to find this tripod, to be fair, because this tripod has a big history. This bad boy is around 30 years old. This is actually my dad's tripod, so he's been using it when he was doing his photography back in time 30 years ago, I believe, and I'm using it still, and it's perfectly fine. You have so many options now on eBay or on Amazon. You can buy cheap tripods for like 20-25 pounds, because you would need a tripod I mean, you can still get away with like putting books and stuff, but if you want to film yourself in different settings, I mean, you might need a tripod, and that will make your life a lot easier. Along with this, I have this Gorilla Pod, as you saw before. This is Joby's Gorilla Pod. I only bought this recently, I believe around 2 weeks ago, and I bought it off eBay again. It was cheaper. I bought it on bid, and it was quite cheap. I got it on a bargain, so it's quite rigid, and also the setup is quite heavy now because I've got this 16mm lens going on right now, so it's quite heavy. So this tripod is crazy good. So as far as the setup is concerned, everything you needed for you to start making content, good content on YouTube, everything has been explained. You can now click away, or you can still watch the rest of the video, because there are some of the things that I'm going to enlist which you don't really need. It's just that I bought to experiment with my hobby, to get the certain look for my videos and experiment and learn more about photography and videography. And yeah, so the stuff that I will be 1 second, guys. इतनी बिरयानी खाने किसने कहा था? So the second part of the video mainly consists of all the lenses that I own. So the very first lens that I'm enjoying, the very first lens that I own actually, except my kit lens, was this lens from Near. I think I'm pronouncing that right. This is a 35mm lens, f1.7, and it's a beast, and it's a manual lens. I think it's the best lens that any photographer who's just starting out can own. So I did my research, and obviously I couldn't buy a Sony lens, Sony 35mm, which was really expensive. I was on a budget, so I bought this bad boy. And I mainly bought this for my photography, but I ended up using for videography as well. So it allowed me to have full control over my subject and how I really wanted to frame. Really, I learned whatever I learned in terms of photography, product photography, I basically learned on this lens. Aperture is 1.7, which is really good for the shallow depth of field. If you want your background, if you want your subject to stand out from the background and get that bokeh, that shallow depth of field in your background, this lens will do that. And that's what I really wanted, to get portraits done for my Instagram and really test my photography, product photography, which I'm still learning. So this is the best lens for anyone who's starting out. So my second lens is this Sigma 16mm 1.4 that I'm filming with right now. And I mean, the main reason to buy this camera was obviously it's a wide angle lens. You guys can see a lot of the background in the frame, and obviously a nice shallow depth of field, really separating me from the background. That was the main reason. So it's on crop sensor body, so 16mm becomes 24. If you do the calculation, I think you have to multiply by 1.4, 1.5. I'm not sure right now. So yeah, that's a wrap, guys. I hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and like this video. And if you have any further questions, please leave a comment down below and I'll be answering them. And if you're new to this channel, first of all, let me introduce. Hi, my name is Haris. Nice to meet you. Assalamu alaikum. Subscribe, like, same old stuff. Please support your boy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace out.